The 2024 roadmap for Hell Let Loose has finally been announced, and it's a bit underwhelming, to be honest. I was hoping for something big to make up for loads of the missed stuff from the last roadmap, the issues that happened last year, but it's just not a lot of stuff, and it seems to be more geared towards sort of quarter 1, early quarter 2. So let's go through what we're getting. So first off, there's the new game mode, Skirmish. That's something that's been tested for, I think, the last few months now on the PTE, and I'm looking forward to Skirmish coming. It's a bit of a divisive game mode for Hell Let Loose, because a lot of people are saying it's turned the game into Call of Duty, and I think those people who are saying that have never played Call of Duty, because it's nothing like Call of Duty at all. It's just a single cap point, really, version of Hell Let Loose. It's still Hell Let Loose. What I think this will mean for the game is probably people that have a lot more responsibility in their life, in their day-to-day life, will have a chance to actually get a game or two of Hell Let Loose in the evenings once they've done everything that they need to do. So it's a really good thing that it's coming to Hell Let Loose. Next, we have a new map, Mortain. That's a map that's been in a PTE. It's being worked on a little bit. I didn't play that map in the PTE. I just couldn't make it. I've heard some good things, some bad things about it, but it's being changed and that map is coming. The practice range is being updated. Not sure what that entails. I really hope they really beef it out and make a really good tutorial for new players. One huge thing that is coming for you console guys is a console server browser. That is a huge thing, especially for the competitive community. So that means they won't have to go into one server and vote kick everyone out to be able to hold a competitive game. What I hope they do now is bring in some sort of private server renting or something. Maybe something like that would be good. I'm not really sure. Console guys, let me know what you think about that. We're going to be getting different weather conditions and map variants. The cool thing here is that the weather conditions are changeable. So what that should mean is that while you're in the middle of a game, the weather could change. That is cool, I'll admit. I don't think that will add too much to the game itself. I really hope they don't make it so it's like a static change. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it, but you know, at a certain time in the map, the weather's going to change to a certain type. They need to make it a bit more random so people just don't know what's going to happen. New British tanks are coming, which is the Churchill Mark 7, the Crusader Mark 3, and the M3 Honey. I think those tanks were already in the recent PTE as part of the British Forces rework. I'm pretty sure the Honey and the Churchill was, I think. But anyway, I think, yeah, we've already played those tanks in the PTE. Maps are getting refreshed, so what that will mean is new assets could be created for those maps, which could mean new foliage, trees, walls, buildings to update the look of maps. They'll also add some extra cover or maybe take away cover from certain areas to hopefully make certain maps flow better. And we'll be getting time of day variants for the current maps in the game as well. Part 2 of the British Forces rework will be coming. Again, we played that in a recent PTE, so we sort of know that's coming already. One new unannounced map. The winter uniforms are being refreshed, so mainly I think that's the American winter uniforms where we've got this all white just thing that exists, but that's being changed to what they actually wore for winter uniforms. If you've seen Band of Brothers and Bastogne, it's that coat pretty much with some like snow effects on it. They have shown that off already and that does look good. And then we're getting free and paid DLC. And that's it. So really this year we're getting 2 maps while we're getting Skirmish Mode, which will have a bunch of technically what they could class as new maps, but really they're just the current maps made smaller, or certain sections of those maps for the Skirmish Mode. The map variants, while a lot of people will probably say it's just changing some day and night condition sliders. It's not. When it comes to map variants and especially time of day, there is more work that has to go into the lighting and shadows. I'm not a game dev, so I'm not exactly sure how much work goes into it, but it's not as simple as just make it night. It won't work or look as good if you did that. There's a lot more tweaks you got to do. But pretty much everything in this roadmap seems to be coming quite soon, because we've already been playing this stuff in the PTEs, the Skirmish Mode, Mortain, British Forces Rework, the tanks, the weather conditions and map variants. That's going to be something coming across the whole year, but it just seems to be so light. One thing it does mean, though, is that because there's not a lot of stuff in here, it means that they could actually release it all instead of missing like half the roadmap like they did last year. But if you compare the ambition of last year, when that roadmap was announced, it was huge. It was awesome. And now comparing it to this year, it's like, what are you doing? What, it's not like, to me, it's not putting a lot of faith in that they actually really want to push Hell Let Loose forward, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot on here. What they could be doing is doing a lot of work for something big in the background, which would release next year. Like, we're thinking a whole new theatre of war and faction, potentially the Pacific, because they would have to make the Japanese, the Marines, and maps for that. So that could be something they're doing. Just speculating and kind of hoping. If you was to have a new major update to Hell Let Loose, most of this stuff could be part of one update. Skirmish Mode, the new map, updates to the practice range, some map variants, which includes time of day and weather conditions, the British Forces Rework, which includes the tanks, and just the winter uniforms refresh. Most of that could just be one single update. To me, that's what it'd be like in the past. And this roadmap is like, it's like an update and a half for the entire year. This, well, it does say at the bottom it only reflects medium-term development goals and it will be updated again in the future. It's still the 2024 roadmap. So maybe later in the year, they'll do like a version 2 and say, oh, look, this extra stuff is coming. But announcing this, it's not, I don't think it's going to be received well by the community, because we already know most of this stuff is coming. I think the biggest thing this roadmap shows is the console server browser. I'm going to guess that when we come to the end of the year, if we compare the player numbers from 2024 to 2023, while the player numbers are up at the moment, I think they'll keep dropping off. That's a natural thing. But I don't think they'll pick up from any of the updates that will come from this roadmap, because it's just nothing big enough. And I won't be surprised if we get to the end of the year and the player numbers will be lower than what they were last year. Also, like, what happened to the Polish and the Finnish factions? They were announced. We were being shown early creations of some of the maps when the roadmap was announced. I think it was the Finnish map, I can't quite remember the name, or it was the Battle of Danzig. We were like shown as an in development map. Where's that gone? That's like something that was built for the Skirmish Mode, I think. Why aren't we getting that? If that stuff was already announced in the update, surely the factions were already in progress. Why not continue on with those? I don't get it. This almost feels like to me that they're downsizing the development of Hell Let Loose. That's what it really feels like to me. Maybe they're gearing up for Hell Let Loose 2 and trying to take advantage of the Unreal Engine 5, or we know that there's been a lot of stuff going on with Team 17 with people being made redundant, losing their jobs and other stuff going on. And there's, how many studios working on the game at the minute? Technically, Team 17 covers 6 studios, Expression Games, I think Flix Interactive aren't working on it anymore. So really, we've got 2 major studios being supported, you could say, by Team 17. Maybe Expression Games are being dropped off, which will just leave 1 major studio working on it. and we've got no idea how big Cover 6 actually are. I don't think this is going to be a good year for Hell Let Loose, especially if these updates come out with more bugs being introduced, because that's kind of the norm, really. Let's hope that at least when we get these updates and patches, no new bugs get introduced. But let me know what you guys think of the 2024 roadmap for Hell Let Loose. Let me know down in the comments below. Give the video a like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.